Hello, beautiful ones. Grateful to be here with you for this transmission of light. And we're titling it New Ways of Being. That's kind of the umbrella that we've given these transmissions that we offer in a complimentary way for anyone that wants to attend. And it's really about kind of leaning into, okay, for this group that is choosing to show up, what is the optimal that wishes to come forward at this time? And it's a good one. So, inviting you to orient to your lines of light and recognize that from the moment you chose to attend, some part of you is here with us. So, even if that's in the future and you're watching it through the recording, it's amazing how this work functions outside of linear time. And so, recognize that you're helping to co create this session. From the moment you decide to journey with us, to join us, even if it was a week ago when we announced it or whenever that was, you started to co-create with us. And so for this session, I've actually been looking at the layers for the last week, and there's layers linked with Gaia Earth, and how the journey it's like through the birth canal can be a bit of an easier ride for her and for us. And so we're going to deal with some pretty big pieces that I've seen this week through various ways, in dream time, and also working with certain clients, some in dream time. There's this very beautiful, I'm going to call it a culmination, something coming to a place of completion. And today is a new moon. So we're in that new moon energetic, but it's also this kind of changeover energy where we're crossing over from the endings, new beginnings. And that is exactly what this, I'm looking at my notes, this session is going to address. So the guides want to share their gratitude to each of you because this could not happen without you. And it's sometimes hard to fathom that. And with the linear mind, figure it out. So just for a moment, recognize that this is a co-creation. This isn't us standing on a hierarchy platform above you saying this is what you should be doing. This is a collaboration that is occurring, that has occurred, that will continue to occur in the higher realms from a place of oneness. You are part of that. You're part of the informing of this session. You are part of the crafting, the co-creating of this session. And anytime we gather, that is the case. And so we encourage you to orient your energetic stance appropriately and see this as a circle of light, a sphere of light, where we're all gathered to collaborate. In oneness, there are no polarities, opposites, push-pulls, trying to prove, trying to one-up each other. Competition doesn't exist. It's simply how can we serve the highest good of all? And that includes ourselves. It's an inclusion. So we're going to bring that in energetically, and it's what every single container and forum is woven with in any interaction with us. And we just encourage you to link into that because it's not easily found yet in boots on the ground, physical realm. There's still a lot of healing taking place, which is perfect. It's in perfect timing. But you found it here, and there are other places, other forms where souls gather to co-create in a healthy co-creative way, where we're not taking responsibility for each other. We're not trying to shift each other or grow each other or want for each other. We're just simply showing up and saying what would serve the highest good for me and for all life, because that links you with your unique purpose, which is basically your reason for incarnating in this evolutionary project, planet Earth. And Gaia is a part of it. So recognize that Gaia is one of the collaborators. And what would it feel like to relate to Gaia Earth as an ascended master that came back from the future to incarnate as a planet? For this very unique and divinely designed architectural evolution dance for very specific reasons. And it's not just about Gaia, Earth, and humanity ascending. That's, yes, one aspect of it. But it has a ripple to all life on and off planet. It's a very particular piece of the puzzle for evolution of all life. So this is not about saving humanity. It's not about saving Gaia. It's not about us being in the savior or the martyr or the, I'm going to call it spiritual arrogance a bit. It's like where we think part of us can latch onto an identity of being more evolved, and it's like we're over it. It's beneath us. We're going to bring in some energetic downloads to help you link in with the massive scale of this particular piece of the puzzle in the evolutionary landscape of all life, and how it takes a certain level of mastery to play the role you're playing, for Gaia to play the role she's playing. And for all who came back from the future to assist and agree to start at square one and to go through all the evolutionary stages to co-create this rebirth that is occurring. And we're just going to invite your higher selves to help you connect with what that means, what that is, far beyond the linear mind, because it is not linear. It's a glorious dance of co-creation. And so anywhere you had a point of view of a polarity, greater than, less than, push, pull, resistance to something, feeling like you're not doing enough, whatever it is, are you willing to hand it over to be reinterpreted? Hand it over to your higher self, invite your higher self to activate all vibrations it symbolizes. So we have that point of view for a reason. At some point, we agreed to something. And so just invite your higher self, if you choose, to activate all vibrations of the spiritual lesson you're actually after, and to move into the appropriate vibrational stance you're actually after, and to reinterpret your relationship with whatever that is to a higher octave. And are you willing to let go of that point of view? Are you willing to allow it to shift and be reinvented? And for your identity to shift accordingly with it. So when we work with shifting identity, we want to make sure we have all our reference points for our true identity linked with the light that we are directly, not who we've appeared to be, not on our experiences, not where we live, what group we're affiliated with, what gender we are, what religion, it's like thought system. You want to bring all your reference points to your identity off your beliefs, off your personality, off your roles you're playing, your expressions in the outer world, your creations in the outer world, back to your light. So we're going to show you how to do that. We're going to invite the body, David, to do the same. Sometimes the body diva will place reference points for its identity on its physical form or physical appearance. Body diva, you are not your physical form. Your physical form is a reflection of your grids that are etheric. And in this incarnation, you're in human form, yes, but your physical form is not you. You've been all kinds of things, body diva. You've been animal and elemental and magical nature spirit being and all kinds of beings in your different travels, different versions of you, but link into your light as you. And you as a soul can link into your light as you. The same is true for you as a soul. You've had lots of journeys and lots of different star systems, probably galaxies, galactic quadrants, different human forms, different animal forms. Retrieve all your reference points for you of all those expressions that you've experienced back to your light. And you might just say, I am light. I am light. And can we show you how to let go of defining yourself as less than what you are? Because the physical form, if we identify as the physical form, that's limiting. That's limiting what we are. If we identify as a being from a very particular star system, and that's all we're identifying as, that limits who we really are. It puts it in a box and creates limitation around it. So would you rather be free to be you and therefore then have access to all the resources you actually have access to as a being of light that is eternal? And the more you orient as the light that you are, and it's more of a vibrational shift that we're helping you do on the back end as we speak to it. And as you're choosing it, your higher self is helping you move into it. As you identify more as the light that you are, fear dissipates. Fear of loss starts to dissipate, not always fully all at once. The more you do it, the more the fear will begin to take a back seat because who you really are is fearless. It doesn't even know the concept of fear. And fear is a mechanism, and it's when we're using it to evolve, it can help us move in certain directions and look at certain things, and it's helpful. So we don't want to resist it. But we just make the point that who you really are is beyond the fear, is beyond the lack, is beyond limitation. And so we're just going to help you orient to that more fully. And are you willing? That's really what it comes down to. Nothing will start to move in your energetic fields or in your orientation until you move into the willingness. The willingness is like unlocking the lock or opening the gate to allow for change. So change will not occur without the willingness. It might try to occur and it feels like you're getting dragged through the mud because you have your heels dug in and you're not willing to change. So the willingness is a superpower. It's really super important. And just you choosing to be willing, it's like saying it, I'm willing, and meaning it, then your higher self can begin to create that new energetic stance within your energetic fields, or activate the vibrations you're after, or release what's ready to go so that you can move into a more harmonic, aligned truth of you, whatever you're ready for. And then we invite a balancing and stabilizing of your fields, updating all grids, all reference points. So one aspect of today's, I'm going to call it yumminess, because this is obviously my joy, this work. It represents a liberation. So to me, that's yummy. What we would recommend is that anytime we're preparing for a pretty big change, and it may seem subtle to you at first, but what I'm looking at is like a pivot point, that it's a moment in time that when we shift the perception in that moment in time, it's going to change everything in a positive way. And when we're getting ready for something like that, we first want to identify as the light that we are. That's important. We want to anchor into our column of light. So bring all of your attachment, all your anchors back to your column of light. That is you. Body, team, same. And then we want to activate and amplify even more willingness to change and even more courage to change. So are you willing to invite your higher selves and allow your higher selves to activate and amplify even more willingness and more courage? And you could call it allowing. And we're just going to bring in the appropriate energetic codes and being shown like sacred geometric configurations and like mandalas, orbs that will help you and your body prepare and to move into your own river of light, to reference the safety, the eternalness of your being. You are safe, you are supported, you are loved. And we're just sharing information and we're helping you get oriented into the now, because we're preparing to do work on the time spiral continuum in the past and in the future. So we want to support you in getting anchored in the now. And one way you can do that is think about what day it is and maybe say it out loud. And whatever the date is today that you're listening to this, today as we record this is the 18th, 2026, that can help you anchor into the now with regard to location on the time spiral continuum. And then as you anchor into the now, referencing where you are in your journey, we want to talk a little bit about that some of you up until now have had certain job descriptions, meaning stuff you're doing in other dimensions that you aren't consciously aware that you're doing, but you have mastery of the work. Could be helping with reweaving grids, destroying grids. It could be relaying information appropriately, opening certain doors, manning certain doors or windows, or spaces between dimensions and realms. It could be helping to engineer very specific aspects of the new grids. And because we're in the birth canal now, like we're in it, the contractions are occurring, Gaia's rebirthing. Most of you listening to this, I wouldn't say 100%, but most of you listening to this are doing the Stargate Ascension shortcut version of Ascension. And it's available to you. It's not that if you're not doing it yet, you can't choose it at some point. The Stargate Ascension requires rolling up your sleeves a little more, being even more committed to staying in your own lane, and remembering how to move out of the codependent into the healthy co-creative. So we'll just give that as a little side note for those who are curious. And so whatever your job is in the other dimensions, you don't have to know what it is. But what I was looking at this week was this idea of certain ones of you, for example, have the job, like you have mastery of destroying, which is good. It's part of the creation cycle. And so you're master destroyers, you're master dismantlers. And or you just have mastery of knowing when it's ready for this particular dissonance to shift. So what is happening for some of you is that you're doing work and you've got your hands in it. You're touching the grids, you're touching the dissonance. And because the veils are super paper thin right now, and they're going to continue to get thinner and thinner and thinner, the higher we go, you're empathically feeling the discordant, the destruction. It's reflecting to you here. So if areas of your life It's like you feel like you can never get any traction creating something because it blows up. Play with the idea that you're in other dimensions helping to destroy the grids or shift the dissonance that's ready to shift, but you've got your hands in it. And so what if at this leg of the journey, it's appropriate to now delegate those jobs to beings of love and light that don't have boots on the ground, that have mastery of the work. And your job description switches to, okay, I will wear the headset, hold the clipboard, give the notes, the information to the beings of love and light that have mastery of that work, and let them actually touch it. Let them actually pull the anchor for that grid, or let them actually do the destruction of that particular thread or grid that's ready to go. And again, there's this massive reinvention renovation happening right now etherically. So grids are lifting off, new grids are coming on and being woven. And some of you, your job is to help weave the new grids and weave into the more harmonic. And if we speak to ascension in very simple terms, it's all about moving into more harmonic terrain consistently, step by step. Today, we breathe in into more harmonic terrain. We weave grids that are more harmonic. Tomorrow, we do it again. We weave even more harmonic grids. We actualize other dimensions more that are harmonic. And as we actualize the harmonic dimensions, the discordant dimensions, the dissonance, falls away if we're not attached to it, if we don't have our energy in it, trying to fix it or change it or lift it off. So we're going to bring in a process to support you in shifting your role and handing off responsibility for particular aspects of the work happening in higher realms, so that you're not actually in the dissonance, touching the dissonance, playing in the dissonance, blowing up something that then reflects in your life as something getting blown up. And own it. If you're really good at destroying things, own that. That's a mastery. And then recognize that because you're really good at destroying things, you know beings in higher realms that are really good at destroying things, and you can employ them. You can ask them to help. They want to help. And then you can supervise and you can point and you can share information in dream time or whenever you're doing it, whenever you're doing your work in other realms. Some people do it all day long while they're doing whatever they're doing in the physical dimension. And you can do the work consciously. Just take a moment to witness yourself, and we'll layer that in as we bring in this process. All right, here we go. We invite you to take a deep breath in, leaning into your column of light, orienting as the light that you truly be. You might say out loud, I am light. And then take a moment and invite your higher self to reference. First, we're going to invite the body Deva to hold the anchor while we do this work. Thank you, body Deva, for holding the anchor, and you're just going to witness. We're going to invite your higher self to scan. Higher self is a soul. Scan for all the work you're doing in other dimensions. And you might just take a moment and ask your higher self to remind you, to show you all the work you're doing in other realms. And even if you don't get, it probably won't make sense to the linear mind. And even if you don't get something specific, just feel into, lean into some part of you knows, and you'll get the ripple. You'll feel it in some way. You'll know it. Oh, I'm doing a lot of stuff. If you're really tired in the physical dimension, you might be doing massive amounts of work in the higher realms that you're not even aware you're doing. And it can also fatigue you if you've got your fingers in the dissonance in other dimensions, trying to fix it, change it, reinvent it, lift it off. So as you become aware of the work you're doing in other dimensions, we're going to invite some part of you to sit in council with guides and advisors, your future selves as ascended masters, Gaia Earth, and it's almost like a review of your job and what's appropriate for you now. So for thousands and thousands of years, your job might have been grid destroyer or dissonance fixer. And what if that's evolving? Because everything's evolving right now. So just take a moment and imagine that you're crafting in a healthy, co-creative way with guides and advisors and Gaia Earth. What's my job now? Maybe it's supervisor. Oh, I just share information and point. This one, this one, this one. I give instructions. I share information. I model. I don't touch anything. It's like this idea of, okay, that's kind of the prerequisite of new job description. We don't touch the dissonance. We can touch the harmonic, not the dissonance. So I'm just holding space for each of you to find your lane. And getting current with who you've become because you've evolved immensely. And what I'm hearing is this idea of, well, but I like doing what I was doing. So let me see what we can do about that. Can you reference, if that you're feeling that, just inviting you to reference all the dimensions you've been doing that in for how long? And what if you're being invited to stretch yourself a little bit and take it to the next level, where you do things a little differently? You still get to use your mastery, but it's more refined, more harmonic, more aligned with who you've become. And so what I'm looking at is now there's been an identity created around that's what I do. And so we're just going to invite you at the level of your higher self to reference your divine blueprint. And just as with the stages of development, as we grow, like the physical form has stages of development from infant to toddler to adolescent to adult. Your divine blueprint carries within it that progression for you as a being. And so inviting you to lift all your reference points for your identity off of the phase you're moving out of back to your light, or on the whole divine blueprint in its entirety, not just one part of it. Don't define yourself by just this leg of the journey, because you might have been doing that job for thousands of years. And it's really hard to say, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore and do something else, because you've identified as that. But that's just a part of your divine blueprint. That's not the whole thing. And what we're being invited in this next phase is to fully claim that we're crossing a threshold into a new phase and to activate next level, next developmental stage of your mastery. What's the next developmental stage of your mastery? Maybe just hold the curiosity of that without needing an intellectual understanding of it. So imagine some part of you in a higher realm sitting with your higher self, your guides, and just being the curiosity. Oh, what's the next level of my mastery? The next developmental stage of my mastery? There's more. Mm-hmm. Yes, there's more. And what if it could get even better? What if you could love it even more? So we're just going to invite you at the level of your higher self, at divine spark level, to activate and amplify a new creative spark based on your divine blueprint that helps pulse you in that new direction. And it will reflect to you here in the physical dimension appropriately. We're not going to be attached to that. Just imagine this little pearl or orb or spark coming from your spark. And it's like this new divine nectar drop of your passion, your wisdom, your mastery that aligns with what you're ready for now. New phase. And it's going to germinate for a while. Perfect timing for that. Fire horse doesn't launch till mid-February. And we have time because whenever you listen to this, it's perfect. Just know that. Get your divine nectar new drop. A creative spark, the guides are saying. Creative spark that aligns with your passion and your mastery and your wisdom as a being. Unique being. You are a unique being. There will never be another you, and you're ready for next phase, next level of expression in all dimensions where you express yourself, not just the physical dimension. And actually, you're going to do it this way, back end work, higher realm work, then it reflects to you in the physical dimension. That's really the easy way to do it. Efficient, easy, streamlined, aligned for you. You don't have to struggle with what's mine, what's not mine. Get your own nectar drop from your spark. It's yours. And then we're going to help you calibrate your fields, inviting your higher self to help you calibrate your fields to fully receive it and allow for it to germinate and unpack itself in appropriate timing. You can start weaving new grids that align with it in perfect timing. Update your identity grids appropriately. Your grids for grounding, because it moves you into a higher vibration. So you want to have even stronger magnetic grids, roots. Bring in appropriate sounds and sacred shapes around the roots, etheric roots of you as a soul, to help you ground. And when I look at the roots of the soul, so the body diva has roots that link in with Gaia. The roots of the soul, actually, they're showing me right now anyway. You have a loop of light. So you have a column of light that comes down from your spark, and then it loops back up to your spark behind you. So it comes down, you're riding along the front of the body spine, and then the loop of light goes right back up behind you, back to your spark in the heart of source. So the roots of the soul, you're the line of light, you're the column of light, the loop of light, start about the waist, so about the third chakra. So your loop of light comes down, you're riding on the front of the body spine. The roots of the soul, everyone might be a little bit different, but what I'm seeing right now is the roots of the soul start at the solar plexus, then they go down through the loop of light, which may go through the center of Gaia Earth, may not, and then start to loop back up behind you. So the roots actually continue even a little bit back up behind you and may even go link into the world you're from. So your loop of light, as it goes down along the front of the spine at solar plexus, and then loops back up as it meets the solar plexus again from the back, that's where I see you linking into the world you're from. And the roots can extend into that, into the world you're from. So more harmonic roots, deeper, thicker, more anchored in your line of light, column of light, world you're from, if that's appropriate. Bring in appropriate. I'm being shown these orbs containing very specific vibrations in and around the roots to help stabilize you even more in your light. Good. Then balance and stabilize, update all grids, all reference points, all ways in which you perceive and are perceived. Shake out, reboot. And then just imagine this work in this other dimension where you're kind of negotiating what, or getting clarity around what your new job is going to be. Feel into the idea that you can delegate what you were doing to beings of love and light that have mastery of the work. You can call in a crew, beings of love and light that have mastery of the work that you were doing, and ask them to be the ones to actually touch the dissonance, pull the anchors. They want to do it. They love to do the work. They don't have boots on the ground, so they don't have to worry about reflecting to them in physical realm density because they're not in physical realm density. We have access to the feedback loop in the physical realm, which is good. But when the veils are this thin and we're doing work in dissonant dimensions, we don't want that to reflect to us here. So it's time to delegate. The guides are just summarizing it. It's time to delegate it unless you want to continue to experience the reflection of that dissonance in your life, in the way you feel. It's like it could be just a low-grade fatigue. It could be headaches, body pain. It could be issues with finances or health, lack showing up, relationships blowing up, not able to hold a home or a job or whatever. So just recognize if your job was or currently is in the process of retiring out of being a destroyer, you're going to have a really challenging time getting any traction in this life, physical realm, boots on the ground, creating new things. So you can still help with that, what's ready to complete and lift off and retire, but in a different way. So getting clear on how you can upgrade, moving into the upgrade, reweaving your grids for the upgrade, delegate. You might even imagine you had a name tag on that said, I do this, and you literally take it off and you give it to a crew of beings of love and light that are going to take over that job. And then you can put a new tag on if you want, or you can still be in the process of determining what your new role is going to be. And maybe your new tag is supervisor of this crew. And again, they have mastery of the work. So we don't really have to micromanage them, but we can share information with them because we have access to information, boots on the ground, that they don't have. So you become more of, I think there's an official name for that, correspondent. The guides are saying, yes, correspondent for the galactic crew or the divine crew in a higher realm, the angelic crew in a higher realm. Good. Balance and stabilize. Complete the work you want to complete really fast. And then pull all of your energy and awareness, your focus, attachment out of the discordant dimensions. Every single one of them. Any discordant dimensional layer you are tinkering with, delegate, get out. Guys are saying, they're not telling you to get out. They're being playful. Okay. And you can even imagine this divine alchemy crew that we work with in these sessions of Saint Germain, El Moira, Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron. You can delegate it to them. And they have a crew they can supervise. Then you're the correspondent. You relay information. You can help supervise if you want. It's really preference, they're saying. And you can imagine sitting at the water cooler every night in dream time or having coffee with this crew and sharing information, getting updates, advising, sharing stories. And you can be like, oh, that's awesome. You did that today. That's amazing. So they're helping letting you know what they did, what they completed. Good. Balance and stabilize, update all grids, all reference points, shake out, reboot. I'm just checking now. And then just checking for any threads where you're still linked into any tiny little thread. Inviting a completion of your relationship with that. Let it complete. Activate vibrations of spiritual lessons. We're going to show you who you are without it, how you function beyond it. Whatever doesn't allow that, will you release it, uncreate it, dissolve it, evolve it, return it, whichever is appropriate. So now I'm seeing another layer, which is a little bit of not full-on fear, but a little caution around, as the destroyer, I felt really strong. And now there's a fear that you won't feel powerful. So we're going to invite you to get all your reference points for your power off of the expression of you as the destroyer or as the grid worker or whatever it was you're doing in the other realms. Bring all the reference points for your power and your empowerment off of that work back to your line of light. Your power is your light. Your power is your essence. And it can express and upgrade in different ways. And we're actually at a time right now where we're going to be bringing in at some point, maybe in an Empowered Evolution Masterclass, there's an evolutionary step happening where we're being invited to bring all of our power through the heart. So out of the solar plexus, it's like, I don't know, out of the mind. It's like this compression energy where it's from below and above, where we're being invited to bring all our power through the heart. And that'll be, they're saying, an Empowered Evolution Masterclass, most likely, that we do that in. And maybe next week. Okay. This is how I get my marching orders. So maybe in a week. We'll see. We'll check the schedule and I co-create that with them. So maybe next Saturday. Keep your eyes peeled for that. So reference points for power in your loop of light, light that you are. And interestingly enough, your power is not just empowerment. It is the strength, the courage, the love, the peace, the purity, the truth, the alignment, the clarity, all the qualities, the integrity, all the qualities you've cultivated in your light constitute your spiritual power. So bring all your reference points for your power off of the external. It's like needing to express your power to feel powerful. What if you could just reference your power in direct connection with your actual spiritual power? Appreciate it more, own it more, be in gratitude for it more, which then amplifies it. And then it reflects in your experience of yourself and how you feel. That could be a whole masterclass too, but we're just going to hold space for this to come into being. And there's a new energetic stance with it. So we're helping to model that and share information. And maybe lean into, I am a powerful being of light, regardless of what I do or don't do. I am a powerful being of light. But that includes the love that I am too, and the gentleness. It's not just the strength. That can be an aspect of my power, but it's not all of it. My mastery is an aspect of my power. My courage is an aspect of my power. The love that I am is an aspect of my power. The ability to be aware and awake and willing is an aspect of my power. Good. Balance and stabilize. Update all grids, all reference points, all ways in which you perceive and are perceived. So we mentioned a moment ago that Gaia Earth is in a process of rebirth. Humanity is in a process of rebirth, which we know you know. And the nature spirits of Earth are aspects of Gaia, which includes all the animals, the plants, the trees, the ocean, the mountain, the wind, the water, the air, right? All the elementals, all aspects of Gaia. The human form, nature spirits, body devas are aspects of Gaia Earth. So they're all going through this major upshift. And there's a way that we can help support that, boots on the ground. we don't have to. But what I was looking at this week and a lot last night was this idea of we can be empathically feeling their discomfort, their kind of disorientation, and feeling like they're losing their footing, like they're like not knowing who they are. So it's like we start to empathically feel them in their process of reinvention. And they feel unstable, they feel agitated, disempowered, maybe not safe or not supported at times, as these major influxes of light come in. And so your body deva may react by contracting and gripping and maybe getting a headache or losing its balance, maybe getting dizzy, maybe I'm just asking for other examples. It could be a whole health issue. It could get sick, maybe lack of sleep. But those are all symptoms of the, I'm going to call it a reinvention, reorientation, as we have higher vibrational energies come in that are unprecedented, meaning they've never been in this realm, earth realm before. It's new to the body devas, and they're programmed to keep everything the same. Anything that's unknown or new is perceived as a threat. And that's in the grids, their survival grids. And so all the animals are also going through that. The birds, I mean, showing cats, dogs, squirrels, bears, tigers, like they're all going through it. So we're going to bring in an energetic process to help you release the empathic. And then if you choose, we'll walk you through a process that you can help be of service to help them not feel as disoriented and struggling. Here we go. We invite you to take a deep breath in, orienting to your line of light, remembering yourself as one with Source as in an even greater way. Maybe connecting to you at spark level. I am a spark in the heart of Source. I am light. And as you orient, as the light that you are, we invite your higher self and body deva's higher self to scan your fields, teams 2, for any empathic dissonance, disorientation, vertigo, spinny, not safe, not supported, gripping, any of that's not yours. It's like fight or flight, that's not yours. And return it back to its right and perfect place, along with all relevant and appropriate energetic information and the responsibility for it. You don't have to know where it's coming from. Your higher self knows, body's higher self knows. And yawn. Reset. Keep returning all the empathic. It could be your community, the region you're in. It could be the elemental energies, the magical nature realm beings. Not every magical nature realm being is fully enlightened, and some of them are feeling very like freaking out. They don't know what's going on, even though it's no different really than an animal. Like if you have a pet and there are fireworks going off outside and it starts to freak out. What is that? It's really that. Some part of them may know what it is in a higher realm, but boots on the ground, they're freaking out, fight or flight. I feel unstable. I feel disoriented. I don't feel connected. I feel like I don't have any, like I'm not grounded. Because as we move into a higher vibration, it's imperative that we increase our magnetics and our roots incrementally as we go up in vibration. And so if we're not doing that consciously, It doesn't just happen by default, not when we're in this accelerated of a cycle or a phase. So we're in an acceleration. We'll be in an acceleration probably till the end of 2028. Definitely this year is an acceleration. And it's going to speed up more after February, mid-February. It's why we're bringing this in now, to give you a tool that you can use to help maybe the fur babies in your life or the birds in your backyard, or even just to help yourself with the empathic piece. So return all the empathic, send information, return responsibility for it. Because we can't shift them. So we don't want to hold responsibility for shifting them. We can model the solution, i.e., stabilize, ground, anchor in our light, hold peace and calm within ourselves, or whatever vibration soothes us, supports us, centers us, which then positively, empathically impacts them. But we can take it up a notch, and we can say to those beings, balance and stabilize, update all grids or reference points. Okay, now we'll bring in for those beings. So you might just think of certain animal species that you're fond of, or a specific animal. You maybe have a pet, or a friend with a pet, or a neighbor with a pet, or maybe you want to think of trees or the ocean, or they want us to stick with aspects of Gaia Earth. So like, what aspects of nature are you fond of? The wind, the trees, the mountains, the rivers, the lakes, the ocean. So just pick one for now, and maybe it's the elephants or a certain animal group. So let yourself be guided to what feels like it wants your attention. It wants greater energetic support. And it's not that you're giving it support it doesn't already have, but you're helping guide. And you're going to help share information here in a moment and make a request. If they choose to do it, they can. We're not going to get attached to them doing it. We're not coming from Savior. And then you can invite your higher self to share energetic information with them at the level of their higher self. You can invite your body, even nature spirit, to share all the energetic information you have with them, including you're going through a pretty major upgrade, moving into the more harmonic. That's what's happening. It's okay. We know it's challenging. It's a lot, but you're doing it. You have a spark in the heart of source, just like I do. You're eternal. You're okay. Whatever energetic information far beyond the mind wants to be shared. And then invite them, and it's an invitation. It's not a telling them what to do or coming from control. Invite them at the level of their higher selves to work with the energetic fields and the guides, if they choose, to activate and amplify even more harmonic vibrations inside themselves to the degree that they choose. And it's whatever harmonic vibrations they're after. And we don't have to know what that is. But we could just say to them, you could activate and amplify more harmonic vibrations inside yourself if you want. I'll show you how I do it for me. And then invite them at the level of their higher selves to balance and stabilize, letting that integrate. Be very gentle, very subtle, just a little tiny bit more peace than was there before, a little tiny bit more connection than was there before, just a little tiny bit more empowerment or love or strength or courage or whatever it is they were after. And we don't have to know. And then inviting them to balance and stabilize, update all grids, all reference points. And then you can invite them at the level of their higher selves to work with the energetic fields and the guides to increase their magnetics and their roots, strengthen their magnetics and their roots for a higher octave vibration. Because anytime we move into the more harmonic, we need deeper roots, wider roots, thicker roots, stronger roots. They might just need that piece, the guides are saying, because they've been moving into the more harmonic, but they haven't been increasing the magnetics and the roots enough to keep up. So use your discernment on that. You can do both. And the thing about making a request is we're not doing it to them or for them. So they don't have to do it. And if it's not appropriate for them to activate a more harmonic vibration inside themselves, they just won't do it. But when I connect to the root piece, they're like, yeah, I really need that. So I'm just witnessing even the trees have an etheric form, stronger roots, wider roots, every blade of grass, same. Mountains, oceans, rivers have etheric roots. Everything has etheric roots. I'm just checking on that. Is that true? Is it everything? They're saying yes. And you might feel a little more calm, rippling. When you feel that, that's when you invite a balancing and stabilizing of all the energetic fields, updating all grids, all reference points, all ways in which you perceive and are perceived, meaning you, them, everybody, because everything just gotten like more calm. And that's how the guides are saying that is a very simple practice you can do to support Gaia Earth and her ascension. Just work with the nature spirits. And it can just be a little bit every day or once a week. Maybe you're working with the wolves, or maybe you're working with the butterflies, or maybe you're working with the snakes or the bears on the planet, or the hooved animals, which there are many of, elk and bison and caribou and goats, mountain goats, cows. Just invite them to ground more. Maybe start with that. And then you can layer in, you can gently activate and amplify more harmonic vibration inside yourself, because that's what everything is being invited into right now. So when we do it, the work consciously, it's quicker and it's more streamlined, more empowering, more harmonic, more efficient. Doesn't take as long. Good. Shake out, reboot. Okay, here's the big one. Here we go. Maybe take a sip of water. The guides are being funny and they're like saying, now for the finale. It's a good one. It's a good one. Okay. Deep breath in, orienting to yourselves as light. Play with the idea that, as we mentioned, ascension is all about moving into the more harmonic. And when you decided to come be a part of this project, there was a reason you decided. And it could be that when you were in the future, looking back on what happened, and it was discordant, and it wasn't like we almost had the Atlantis debacle on repeat. You said, I'll go back and help with the shift. And at that point, there was this agreement, you could say for divine intervention, for beings of love and light to go back and help Gaia Earth get over the hump. And end the cycle of the repeat. And it couldn't come from Savior, because you can't get to where you're going with a compass heading for a polarity. Like we couldn't get outside of polarity using a polarity as the compass heading. We had to come from the purity and alignment with healthy co-creative. So we couldn't come from Savior. So we came from, and we weren't able to be selected and volunteered if we weren't coming from the highest good of all as the set point. the liberation for the highest good of all. And so that's the foundation. It's the foundation for New Earth. It's where we're going. It's the compass heading. How do we know that? Because that's what we set the GPS for when we came back to assist. And so because it didn't come from Savior, we don't want to be holding 1 ounce of responsibility for any other aspect of life, because that's the Savior. Oh, I'll save you. I'll do that for you. I'll shift that for you. I'll heal you. I'll to take on your stuff and try to shift it for you. That's all martyr Savior. So that's in the midst of retiring. If we haven't fully retired it, we're on it's on this last legs, the guides are saying, for this group. And so when you decided to come back and assist, at some point, you saw a version, a timeline that was discordant, that was probably, we'll just say it was destructive, highly destructive, which is one of the reasons you decided to come back to alter the timelines, to help weave into more harmonic timelines, to create more harmonic timelines. We've done that. We're still doing it, but the lower dimensional timelines of destruction have already been bypassed. We've crossed that threshold. So take a moment and scan, invite your higher self, body's higher self, to scan for anywhere, any part of you in the past or in the future is still linked into and holding energetic weight on a lower vibrational timeline that's actually been bypassed. And pull all your energetic weight, your attachment, your resistance, your creative energy, any anchor points you have on those discordant timelines. Get all your resources off those discordant timelines, all your energy off those discordant timelines, all your life force off those discordant timelines, your focus, your awareness. Invite your higher self to get all your energy off the discordant timelines that are no longer coming into being. They've been bypassed. And so some part of you in the future could have placed a nugget of resistance or control or attachment to that timeline, wanting it to be different. Get all your energy off of it. Some part of you in the past, from this vantage point, could have done that because maybe you were a psychic, a seer, or knew a psychic or seer 20 lifetimes ago that saw in the future, from that vantage point, an apocalyptic timeline coming into being. And that may have been true at that time, but so much has shifted since that timeline has been bypassed. Get all your energy, attachment off of those lower dimensional timelines that you may have at some point in time, whether it was in the past or in the future, connected to the possibility of. And you may have decided, concluded, carry a belief that that's where we're going. Are you willing to release and uncreate that? Let it go. It's not where we're going. At a certain point in time, that may have been true, but it has shifted. Get all of your awareness, your energy, your focus off the discordant timelines that have been bypassed. They're not birthing. They're not coming into being. Maybe it was a movie you watched that triggered a fear around that coming into being. We're inviting the activation of all vibrations of spiritual lessons, returning, retrieving power appropriately. Get all your attachment back on you, all your energy of control. It's like we'll use resistance as a way to try to control and make something go away. Get all of your energy of control off of any fear-based versions, scripts, playouts that have been bypassed. And actually just be in the now of possibility. Anything is possible. How does it get any better from here? How do we weave in more harmonic vibrations in and around? How do we actualize even more harmonic dimensions every single day that then reflect here in the physical dimension. And then link into the harmonic dimensions, the harmonic timeline that we're actually on, and your own appropriate dimensional layer trajectory for that harmonic timeline, sending, birthing, new earth, freedom, liberation. Yes, yes, and yes. And there might be some reinventions along the way in the outer world, but not apocalyptic in the sense of utter destruction. Just witnessing, I can feel you get into the now and linking into what's actually possible moving forward. Based on how far we've come, based on who you've become. Very different vibrational terrain that we are in and we are moving into. It's about to get even better. And you can begin to create in this higher vibrational terrain, in the freedom, in the flow, in the connection. And this new vibrational terrain is very etheric, fluid. We don't have to push. We don't have to force. If we push or force, we're going to blow something up. We're going to create a discordant hiccup. So we're just helping you hone your stance, updating your identity grids, updating all grids, all perceptions. Are you willing to let go of all conclusions you made that aren't true? Maybe were true at some point, not anymore. Will you allow your higher self to reinvent your relationship with all of it to a higher octave? Will you allow your higher self to reinvent your relationship with being here, boots on the ground, to a higher octave? Where you get to actually play in possibility and oneness energies, oneness ways of living and being moving forward in a much easier way. It's going to be much easier to reach for. It's going to be much easier to hone. It's going to be much easier to remember and align with consistently. It's a choice, but it's going to be much easier to implement, especially as you stay in your own lane, hands to self, hands on your own clay, not attached or responsible to what anyone else is doing, because some will continue to roll around in the struggle and the separation for a time, and that's okay. If you don't get attached to what they're doing or not doing, you're not going to link into those grids, those worlds, those expressions, and you're not going to link into the discordant, and it won't reflect into your experience of yourself. So just get all of your energy and your attachment into harmonic dimensions, into your own alignment with you. Love on your own self. Create for your own self. Everything else will fall into place. Good. Balance and stabilize. Update all grids, all reference points, all ways in which you perceive and are perceived. Shake out, reboot. Just take a moment to notice how you feel. Do you feel a bit differently than you did an hour ago? And we're going to continue to support you in reorganizing. It's like a reorganization of what you're referencing. They're just showing me the idea of a timeline shift and the mandala effect, and how certain things, when we shift timelines, we can be referencing certain things happening a certain way, but we're actually on a different timeline. So from here, and we look back, it's different. One example is like the Fruit of the Loom logo. It's one example where it either has the cornucopia or it doesn't have the cornucopia. Another example is Give me another example. I'm so altered. Oh, the Berenstain Bears. What's the other one? The Berenstain Bears, or there's another name that I can't remember because that's not how I reference it. So there's two, Berenstain, maybe, that depending on the timeline, they're different names for those. It's like a storybook here in the US. So there's different examples of that, and you can also look it up online and find different examples of the Mandela effect. There's one they're saying the reason it's called that is that certain people remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison, and other people remember that he actually was released from prison. And so there's two versions of that. So anyway, there's lots of examples of it, and it's an indicator that there's been a timeline shift. And in the current, say, recent past, there's been tons of timeline shifts. So that's what creates, again, this idea of the disorientation and the whatever. If we're linked into an old timeline, we're going to feel off. So we encourage you to make it a daily practice to bring all of your energy and awareness off of all other timelines back to this current harmonic timeline that you are on. Claim that you are on the most harmonic timeline. Bring all of your energy and awareness onto that harmonic timeline, anchoring into the now. Invite your higher self to anchor you into the now, to increase your magnetics and your roots appropriately, to balance and stabilize all the electrical and magnetic energy in all systems, components, and levels of your being for a more harmonic terrain. Body, team, same. Yes, super important this year to stay stabilized and current and in the now. So we want to take a moment to thank you all for this wonderful co-creation together and for bringing the pieces forward that you brought forward as we share information in the higher realms and we get clear on what's being asked for and what would serve the highest good. And we encourage your feedback. Let us know how you are feeling. Feel free to email us. We're going to be doing, I guess, you're the first to know, same as me, like you found out the same time I did. We're going to be doing an Empowered Evolution Masterclass to support the shift into the heart, wielding power through the heart, in the near future, maybe next Saturday. And we're also going to be launching a new series February 1st that's going to be all about living and being in empowered possibility. And that is basically helping you orient to the new higher vibrational terrain, new earth terrain that is the fluidity, that is the grace and the ease. And how do we exist there, create there, orient there consistently? And what are the grids for that? And so we're going to help you weave your own unique grid system that's going to help you thrive in that new terrain that is going to carry you into the new, all new beginnings from here forward. We're in the new beginnings. So the completion phase is at a time of closing out with the year of the snake. And while we'll be noticing in the physical realm, reinventions and renovations happening with certain systems that will not be able to sustain, that's the word I was going for, to sustain themselves in the higher vibrational terrain. They will have to reinvent. With regard to when I look at all of you and I look at the soul's journey, maybe take a deep breath in and breathe a sigh of relief that you've done massive amounts of work in 2025 up until now, shedding, completing, closing out, and you are now ready for this new beginning. And so these next 2 weeks can be about you settling in, getting current, getting really present in who you are and in the now, anchored in the now, anchored in your truth. Because authenticity will be another theme linked with the living and being and empowered possibility that allows you to thrive in the new earth, creation realms, co-creation realms. And so if you want to journey with us for that series, we'll add a link below this recording when we upload it to YouTube. And you can also find it in our online store at embracingtheinfinite.com. And they're reminding me that we had a couple people ask about if they wanted to share a love offering for this particular transmission, even though we offer it complimentary. If you do want to do a love offering, I'll share the link here. You can do it using the link below or in the chat or on our website. In the menu, there's a love donation choice in the menu that takes you to Square, and you can do a combination of whatever you want to do for that. And then if you want to use PayPal, if you go to our Connect page on our website, at the bottom of that page, there's a donate button that links to PayPal that lets you fill in whatever amount you want. So if you want to contribute, you can. And we want to thank you all for your willingness to be co-creators, your willingness to change, your courage to change. We want to thank you for showing up. And we also want to mention, I always forget to mention this, but it's going to be here before we know it. If you want to journey with us in the 6-month vibrational reinvention, it's going to be really glorious. And we still have spots available. It launches March 1st. There's still an early bird price running for that for a limited time. There's also an early bird price still running for the series we're going to be starting in February 1st. So you can learn more about the higher octave of you, which is in our on our website, and I'll put a link below for that as well. That's going to be supercharged, the guides are saying, because we include dreamtime work. We meet twice a month and do interactive work with the intimate group that decides to embark on that journey with us. And this morning, I received a message from one of you that inspired a new option for that offering that will also include not just the group work, but individual sessions if you want to include that. So if you've already enrolled in the higher octave of you, I'll be sharing that email soon with those details that you can choose to opt for some private session work in addition to the group work. All right. We invite a balancing and stabilizing of all your energetic fields, updating all grids, all reference points, all ways in which you perceive and are perceived. And we encourage you to give yourself a great big hug, to thank yourself for showing up. Thank your body, Deva, for showing up, for being willing. Maybe let your body Deva know it's doing a good job. It's a lot. We know it's a lot. You're doing great. You're doing it. Encouragement goes a long way with the body Devas. Just holding space for that love fest, witnessing it in the higher realm. Guides are also encouraging you, embracing you, your guides, your team, your body Deva's team, guides, embracing the body Deva. We're just going to invite everyone to relay information to each other, meaning you with your teams and your guides, your body with its teams and its guides. And inviting your teams and your guides, to the degree that they choose, to activate and amplify more harmonic vibrations inside themselves, to the degree that they choose, and to ground more within their own light, to the degree that's appropriate. Holding safe, supportive, harmonic, energetic stance that positively, empathically impacts you and your body, Deva. And if you feel like you would like greater support, you can always invite your team to huddle around you more, and your body's team to huddle around it more. And we want to also encourage them to be in harmonic dimensions that support them, so that they are the most aligned and coherent they can possibly be. So we're just holding space for that. And I just felt next level relaxation with that. Balance and stabilize, update all grids, all reference points, shake out, reboot. And thank you again for showing up. And we look forward to connecting with you all very, very soon. Much love. And may you journey in the harmonic, linked with the harmonic dimensions. And so it is.